But you might like to mute.
No, can't find my mouse.
Francis, if I didn't say anything.
Oh, Chris.
Now, I'm hoping, as I said a few minutes ago, that you'll find this perhaps the easiest of the 4 sessions we've done so far on Declare a Play. I mean, this course is meant for basics, so that you know, I hope you'll find it on the easy side tonight. Well done, Keith and Caroline. Is Caroline? Are you there? Well done, Keith and Caroline. She's somewhere anyway. Who I think Keith pointed out he's now been top 5 weeks running. So I'm sure we agree it's perhaps time he was knocked off his perch. I don't know if Christopher and Ron are going to merge forces again soon. That might be a help. Very credible result for, I don't think Douglas is here tonight, but Douglas and Mano are very close second. And I can't see yet Lynn, but Lynn and Pearl finished top of their half in East-West. So let's make a start. Now I'm just going to stick to no trumps for this thing, and it's entitled From Square One, and it really is. So you finished all the bidding, okay, and the first card is led on your left. Dummy comes down. Now most of us really probably start saying to dummy, play a card far too soon. But unfortunately, most of us play the hand too slowly, and really it should be the other way around. You're supposed to, well, this is the theory, you're supposed to take, you know, something like half a minute thinking how you're going to make your contract, and having decided that, carry it out fairly briskly. That's much better than sort of umming and ahhing on the 6th and 7th trick. It's easier said than done, of course, isn't it? And the first stage of this, of course, is counting your top tricks. So from square one, then, a top trick is a trick you can win immediately in a suit without losing the lead. I'm pretty sure this is revision for most of you, but we'll see. So, for example, if one thing about top tricks, you've got to have the ace to start with, because if you haven't got the ace, you're going to lose the lead. So clearly in that spade suit, we've got one top trick, okay? Easy stuff, but just interrupt me if there's a mistake or I'm not sure what I'm talking about. Now in that heart suit, we've got the king as well, so we can count the heart suit as 2 top tricks. Not the third one, of course, we'll lose. Now we've got the ace, king, queen of clubs, so we can count that as 3 straight off. And we've now got the luxury of the jack, so we can count that as 4. Get the idea? What about that one? Now, I'll leave it open to anybody tonight, because we've not got Keith here, for example, and so on. How many top tricks is that?
3.
Only be 3.
Yeah, some people, you know, they look at that and say, oh, I've got the ace, king, queen, and jack 4. But of course, you can only have as many tricks as there are in the longest of the 2 holdings, which is indeed 3. That's not something you particularly like, of course, is it? Because you've got 10 points wrapped up in 3 tricks, and one high card is going to drop another high card. Now, this is the reason sometimes I've said to you, you know, if you can't make a decision on bidding, see if the high cards are in your long suits. And if they are, be bold. If you've got high cards, on the other hand, in your short suits, tend to err on the side of caution. And this is the kind of reason that when you've got short suits with high cards in, you can get duplication. I mean, one really bad example would be if you had the ace queen doubleton combined with a king jack doubleton. So 10 points wrapped up in just 2 tricks. I'm sure some of you have picked up a combination where 10 points produce only 2 tricks because of clashing doubletons. And with the last one, of course, we can't count our chickens because we haven't got the ace. We can clearly see we've got a future in the suit, but we can't count it as top tricks. So that's the starting point of all declare a play. As I say, revision for most of you. You happy with that?
Yes.
And that's what you're supposed to do straight away. Now, there are 3 basic ways of making extra tricks in a no trump contract. 3 basic ways. I wonder if anybody can remember any of them. Anybody will do.
Length.
Yes. One way of making extra tricks is simply by having enough cards to exhaust the opponent's of cards in the suit. And in no trumps, of course, that's fine because you're not going to get them ruffed. You're not going to get them trumped. So length is a good way of making extra tricks. It's not the most reliable way because the trouble with having length in suits is you don't know, first of all, how they're going to split. Yeah. So you can't exactly be sure, although we'll be talking in a few minutes about having a rough guess at least. It's not the most reliable way, but it is a way, thank you, I think that was Roy or Martin, I'm not sure, of making extra tricks. So length is one.
Finesse.
Finesse. And Martin, I think that's you.
Yeah.
How would you describe a finesse?
It's where you manage to get an extra trick by your opponent not laying what might be a winning card because they can see perhaps on the table they'll lose it.
That sort of thing, isn't it? The technical name actually for finesse is positional winners. And really with a finesse, you've got a gap in your high cards, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like, for example, you might have the ace with the queen.
Yeah.
The gap being the king. Now, this really does fall to good fortune, doesn't it? Because the missing king could be on either side of the table. It's a 50-50 chance, isn't it? A finesse. But so long as you use the right technique and you lead up to the card you're trying to finesse, then you will make the most of your luck when it happens. A word about finesses, by the way, don't be in a hurry to take them. Now, why do you think I say that?
They may not work and you may not need them.
May not need them, but the main reason is that they might lead it and give you a trick. Now, suppose you had the ace and the queen in dummy. Yeah? The ace and the queen in dummy. Now, if the king's on your right, you're going to lose that finesse, aren't you?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing finesses next week. I'm going to save those. They're a whole subject in themselves. But of course, if the player on your right leads the suit and commits him or herself first, you're going to win the queen, whatever. So when you look at dummy and you're sitting on dummy's left, you don't like to lead up to suits with the ace queen because that's the danger, isn't it, of under leading the king. Well, if that doesn't make sense, it doesn't matter because we're doing finesse or positional winners next week because it's a huge subject. So Roy's mentioned length and Martin's mentioned positional or finesse. Finesse is just the French term for a fine play, but that's what it means. And what's the third reliable way, the really one reliable way?
Forcing.
Yes, we can see it on the screen, can't we? Right at the bottom there, we've just said it's no top tricks, but it's a very clear 3 tricks, isn't it, once that ace is gone? So your most reliable method is forcing out high cards. And of course, you associate that with a sequence of high cards. And that's where you tend to look first for your extra tricks, if you're lucky enough to have those high card sequences. So you're happy with that then? That's just the screen on top tricks. Going reasonably quickly through these because I think most of you know this already. So there's a term that Robson uses is don't flap when you're declarer. Think of force, length, and position. Don't flap. Now we'll leave position till next week, but we'll look at force and length today, and we're going to have a look at one or two example hands in a few minutes. Right, there is one more thing to say though about top tricks. You do have to be careful about the order you cash them. That's the other side of top tricks. It's all very well counting those top tricks, but if you go and we've all done this, especially when we first started playing bridge. If you play them in the wrong order, you end up in the wrong hand and sometimes completely waste some high cards because you can't get to them. So the general rule is win your high cards in the shorter holding first, on the short side first. By that we mean that we've got 3 top tricks here, but if we wanted to cash them certainly in order, we first play the 3 up to the king, we cash the king, and then come back to the ace queen. Because if we cash the ace first, the ace of spades, we then end up winning the king, but we can't get back to the queen, can we? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, of course, sometimes you get away with it because you've got high cards in your own hand and you can, but it's a good habit to, sometimes it's unnecessary. It's just a good habit to get into. Not only cashing top tricks, but we'll find with force winners and length winners to some extent as well. So the golden rule, you know, being stuck like this is called being blocked. The golden rule or the unblocking rule is win your top tricks in the shorter holding first. Now, I've clearly got 4 heart top tricks coming up next. What's the order I should cash them in, other factors being equal?
Ace, Jack, King, Queen.
Yes, ace, jack, king, queen. So if we were just cashing these tricks off the top, we'd leave the 4 of the 3 up to the ace and then the jack. And then we're in a nice position with our 2 to lead back to the king, queen. How about this club suit?
Yeah, 3 to king.
King first, isn't it? And then you're
Queen,
in the
jack.
right hand to cash your other 3. I did say it'd be easy tonight, and so far it sounds as if you found it so. Good. So short side first, that's it. Now, we said just now that force winners are the most reliable way of making tricks, and that's because once you've forced out the higher cards, there's no element of luck at all involved. There's not the split of the cards, or neither the position of missing high cards. So, in that first example, then we've got the king, queen, and the jack. So, how many force winners have we got there?
3.
Yeah, 2.
2.
2.
Or
I
two.
Two.
2, you have to lose the ace.
2, yeah, 2.
Almost.
Yeah.
I almost had the premonition of somebody saying 3 there because it looks like it, doesn't it? King, queen, jack. But of course, unfortunately, we have got to use one of them to force out. So it's actually 2, isn't it? 2. Once the ace is forced out. Good. And how about the spade combination?
3.
3.
Indeed, Tim. 3 once the ace is forced out. And how about this diamond combination?
What, 1?
2.
1.
Two, you lose the ace king, don't you? You lose to the
Yeah,
ace.
you only lose the ace king, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think we've got 2, haven't we?
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So you got 9.
Yeah.
10.
And you know, I was saying from the shorter holding first in top tricks, you would indeed play up to the queen first. And why would you do that? Because you want to be in the right hand eventually to be able to cash your 2, you know, jack and 10 of diamonds or whatever it is. So you'd lead up to the queen of diamonds to force out the ace or the king. And then when you can, you lead back to the 9, say, to force out the other high card. And so you're the right hand then to it's not actually quite so vital with these, but it's a good habit to get into. So you're happy that that's 2 force winners, okay?
Yes.
See, the common pattern is the high sequence of cards, isn't it? In that last case, going down to the 9 intermediate.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks pretty hopeless, this, with only 1 high card point. The presence of the 8, of course, makes all the difference, doesn't it? In fact, we've got a run of 4 down to the jack, and as somebody said, that is indeed a chance of 1 top trick. Of course, you have to be patient in knocking out ace, kings, queens like this. We'll see an example tonight where it's the only way of doing it. And sometimes it involves all sorts of things like holding up aces and things like that, which is beyond the current lesson. But force winners are reliable. Okay. And looking at length, of course, it's not so reliable. So, for example, if you take that suit there, we clearly, the spade suit, we have clearly
3 tricks.
1 possible length winner, don't we? So if we're optimistic, it's about a 1 in 3 chance, you know, 3-3 break, isn't it? We're looking at some simple probabilities in a minute.
4 break. Mm.
So with that spade suit, you would consider yourself lucky if you won the 2 of spades. Now, I can tell you that, controversial subject, it wins more often than it should do, that 2 of spades. And why do you think that is?
This is a split.
Well, the split is about a 1 in 3.
But it's what you'd cast, other people would cast away and wait till
That's-
and you wait till the end.
Very good, Jessica. They may have thrown away from a 4-card suit.
Yeah.
Now, when we get onto the subject of discards, one of the things you try to do is keep 4-card suits for this reason.
But
Okay.
Chris, if you're looking at this one, you've got 8 cards there in that suit. So there's
Sorry, it's moved on to the next one. I'm just still on the spade suit at the moment.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I misled you there. It's the spade suit there. What chance do we have in win of the 2 of spades? And the answer is about 1 in 3. Now, in fact, those odds improve because of what Jessica has just said, that sometimes people throw away from a 4-card suit and you 2 will win even if the split was 4-2. Do you see what we mean? But the reason I was thinking of is simply because the cards aren't shuffled well enough. And when the cards aren't shuffled well enough, you get more.
Excuse me.
You know, I've got a thing about that. Actually, if you don't like using those strips, all you've got to do when you finish your last board is just shuffle the cards a little bit before you put them back in again. And we could probably do without shuffling much at all if everybody remembered at the end of each session that they shuffle. You should do that anyway. Shuffle when you put your 13 cards back, just give them a slight shuffle, okay? And then if you did that at the end of the last time it was played, Roy's job or my job or Jean Niles' job, whoever it is, would be easier because we probably wouldn't really need to use that system. So a little suggestion there. Anyway, the theoretical odds were 1 in 3. Now we're on the heart suit. How many lengths winners here?
2.
We'd hope for 2, wouldn't we? What kind of split would we need to make it 2?
3-2.
Indeed. Now, better news with 3-2. A simple way of remembering the probability of a 3-2 split, it's 2 out of 3, by coincidence. So you would count yourself unlucky if you didn't get 2 length winners from that combination. It's about 2 to 1 on, that is. Here again, by the way, is an example of playing from the shorter hand first, although actually it doesn't matter in that particular case, does it? Now, of course, it might not be quite your lucky day. And if it was a 4-1 split, you'd only get one. And that happens about a quarter of the time. If you're really unlucky and it's 5-0, you really are unlucky because that's about 1 in 20 something. But it's happened to all of us, hasn't it? The dreaded 5-0 split. So that will be none. Now this club combination, please. Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on luck, doesn't it? What's the best we could hope for?
3, yeah.
9, 8, 7.
3, yeah.
4, 5,
Three.
6, 7, 8, 9.
I think the best you can hope for is a 2-2 split,
2-2 split, yeah.
in which case you will get 3
Three.
lengths.
3, yeah.
That will be lucky, wouldn't that?
Mm.
So your ace and king would win, and but 2-2 is against the odds. We'll look at very quickly look at a table of probabilities in a minute, and we'll see that surprisingly, 4 missing cards we've got, haven't we? They don't tend to split 2-2 as often as 3-1. Of course, that would be lucky. That would be average luck because that's the average split of a 4 missing cards, 3-1. So when we look at a suit like that, we think, well, on a normal day, I can expect 2 winners. Now, on a normal day, that means you have got to lose a club, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, just playing off the ace and the king means you have to be lucky to get 3 winners. Now, sometimes you might decide, well, I only really actually need 2 winners. And if you do that, you duck a trick. Now, that's a whole subject on its own, deliberately losing a trick. But you might deliberately decide to lose a club first to make sure of 2 extra winners. It might be that just cashing the ace and the king is dangerous, but that's moving ahead of ourselves. And sometimes you'll only get 1 because it's a 4-0 split. And of course, that would be unlucky. So that's length winners. And just looking at the table of probabilities, put the whole thing on, I think, there. Now, what that, please don't think you've got to remember these percentages. There's some rather easier fractions you can remember if indeed you need to remember it at all. But I think it is quite a good idea to think what the most likely split is, even if you can't remember the actual numbers. And what we see, I've gone from 3 to 8 missing cards. What you'll notice, what do you notice about, can anybody summarize those splits there of the missing cards? Can you see a pattern in it?
Yeah,
They're all asymmetrical, aren't they?
you
Oh, and more specifically,
you don't get any even breaks.
exactly, Martin. So we can summarize this by saying, if it does, I think at the bottom in a minute, there we are. An odd number of cards like 7, 5, or 3. Can you see they split as evenly as they possibly can, don't they? 2-1, 3-2, and 4-3. So an odd number of missing cards you can reckon will split as evenly as possible. I mean, you don't know for sure, it's just odds. Whereas the even numbers don't, do they? 4, 6, and 8, it goes 3-1, 4-2, and 5-3. Now, I don't think anybody, except nerds like me, remembers these probabilities to the nearest percent, but I think it's quite a good idea to know what to expect. So an odd number of cards probably splits as evenly as possible. In other words, 4-3, 3-2, or 2-1. But an even number doesn't. Now, the expert on this is Jonathan, who's not here tonight. Anybody know why it is that an even number of cards doesn't split on evenly as usual.
Because there's only one case of the 4-2 split, the 6. There's only one case of being a 3-3, but it's 2 to be 4-2 and 2 to be 5-1.
Their explanation. That's why it is, because there's simply more ways of getting it, isn't there? 3-1 could be 1-3.
Yeah.
Excellent. 2-4 could be 4-2. 5-3 could be 3-5, but 3-3 can only be 3-3. Okay. Well, enough mathematics for now. Let's try a few hands. So what we do now, please, and we'll give you, I've suggested half a minute, haven't I? So let's look at deal 1. I've said this is, I hope you're finding it on the easy side tonight. There's our hand. And first of all, we're going to bid it through. We can't see anybody else's hand, of course. And then I'm going to give you a short while to work. Once dummy goes down, I'm going to give you a short while to work out your plan. Okay, get the idea.
18 points.
So the bidding won't be difficult. So what we're going to bid on this?
One spade.
One spade.
Yes, well, this is far too strong, isn't it, for one no trump?
One spade,
Far
yeah.
too strong. And with equal length suits, you go for your major. Absolutely. I think that was Tim, wasn't it? One spade, nothing from north. And then our partner goes, we hope 4 spades or something. But no, that's much more likely, isn't it? Of course. 2 clubs. And what we're going to come up with ourselves now.
Two no trumps.
Excellent.
One no club.
Mr. Hunt
Yeah.
again. Would you like to explain to the other children why 2 no trumps, please, Tim?
Showing that it's a balanced hand with more than 14 points. In this case, 18.
That's basically the answer. Absolutely. It's too strong, isn't it? And of course, incidentally, if you're thinking by the way of bidding something like 3 or 4 clubs, don't. Remember your priorities. We've got to come to those in a future lesson. Your priority is to bid no trumps over supporting partners minor, isn't it? So definitely no trumps. Perhaps the more difficult question, though, Tim, is why not just go straight into 3 no trumps now? Because you know, partner's shown how many points, by the way?
10.
You've got-
10 or more. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a bit less with a long
18.
suit, it's true.
You've
We-
only got 6. You could still. Oh no, because it's a new. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
Is this 18 points?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know we got 28 points at least.
Hmm.
So what are we faffing about? Why not bid 3 no trumps? Oh, here we come to modern bidding. Until recent times, people would have just slammed in with 3 no trumps. Can you think of any reason
You might want
why
to-
we normally bid 2 no trumps here? Well, the reason is it
Well,
gives
part-
partner a chance to mention his spades. But we'll skip by that because it's not really a lesson in bidding. In fact, actually on this one, we could have gone straight into. We ourselves actually have 4 spades. If we'd had 5, sorry, I should have put 3 no trumps, shouldn't I? Because if we had 5 spades and it was balanced, partner might have 3. Anyhow, we're going to get to 3 no trumps, whatever.
But if you bid 2 no trumps, how does your partner know that you've got 18 points? You might only have had 12.
That's a good question, and it's a facet of modern bidding that once your partners bid at the 2 level, you know they've got 10 points.
Yeah.
Once you bid 2 no trumps, you know you got 15 points. So both sides know they should be heading for game. Okay. So it's forcing to something. So when you bid 2 no trumps, East either goes on to 3 no trumps as here, or if he's got 3 spades, he bids them. Now, I know it doesn't apply in this case, but imagine if we had 5 spades, yes? Now, modern bidding, you still bid no trumps even with a 5-card major. So bidding 2 no trumps, if you had 5 spades here, would just let East show his 3 spades. Now, we are going to have a lesson on that in the future, so don't worry at the moment. On this hand, actually,
Wouldn't you bid 2 no trumps if you perhaps didn't like clubs, but you were balanced in the other suits and thought no trumps was your best bet? So you go to 2 no trumps, but he doesn't know that means more than 25 points, does he?
well, he does actually, because you are showing 15 at least, and he has 10.
Right.
So do you see? We're getting onto slightly in the future on bidding, and this is only something that's come in, let's say, the last 10 or 20 years. So I think we'll leave a detailed discussion of that when we get back to second round bidding, Pat, if that's okay. But don't worry, you know, if you bid 3 no trumps here, you'd be spot on anyway. It doesn't really matter because you've only got 4 spades anyway. Okay, anyway, back to declare reply. So more about that mystery of the 2 no trumps in a later lesson. And there we are. The 6 is led. And, you know, what I'd like you to do now, and I think this is one of the easier hands, but nonetheless, we'll just think it through. So you think about your top tricks, your extra tricks, where they're going to come from, and indeed how you're going to carry it out. So I'll be quiet for a bit.
So your partner's only actually got 9 points.
Yes. Was that Pat again?
Yes.
Now, if you had incredibly good hearing earlier, do you remember I said a new suit at the 2 level shows 10 points?
Mm.
And then I said, probably rather quietly, sometimes a bit less with a longer suit.
Right.
Now, do you know what the rule of 14 is? Well, this is a rule for responder. Now, when you first taught bridge, you need 10 points to bid a new suit at the 2 level. The rule of 14 says, add your points to the length of your longest suit. If it comes to 14 or more, you're okay to bid at the 2 level. The rule of 14. Now let's apply that here. As you quite rightly say, we've indeed, well spotted, only got 9 points. But we do have a 5-card suit. So this hand is deemed good enough by the rule of 14 to bid 2 clubs. Good question. Okay. You see, the trouble with bidding 1 no trump on a hand like that is the dustbin bid. It's not all that helpful. So if you always think you need 10 points to bid a new suit at the 2 level, use the rule of 14. Add your points to the length of your longest suit. 9 and 5 here, isn't that?
But then if declarer goes back and does 2 no trumps, saying 15 points, and you've only got 9, wouldn't that stop you from going to 3 no trump?
No, because the theory is that the extra length makes up for the missing point. And believe me, on average, it does. Because what you really want in no trumps is 5-card suits to work out. You probably know that from your experience of play already. So we can take that as game, even though, you know, it might be 24 points indeed. The 5th card is worth an extra point.
I know.
Okay, but you don't have to play that, you know, if you want to be more conservative. And here you'd bid 1 no trump, wouldn't you? On the old scheme, East would bid 1 no trump, and then West might bid 2 or 3 no trumps, probably get there in the end. Yeah. On this occasion, if East bid 1 no trump, you still get to 3 no trumps. So in this case, it doesn't really matter, does it? Anyway, back to declare reply. How are we going to make this contract? Well, the first question is, how many top tricks have we got?
9.
This is quite unusual, isn't it? That
Got 8, haven't we?
well, it is 9, I think, isn't it? We've got
1, 2,
4
3,
spades,
4,
a
5,
heart,
6,
and
7,
4 diamonds.
8.
Now, this is the exception to
Oh,
the
yeah,
rule.
4
It is 9,
diamonds.
isn't it?
Mm.
We really can count those 4 spades as long as we play them in the right order. And we've only got 1 heart trick, and we've got 4 clear diamonds, haven't we?
Yeah.
Now, you probably noticed that doesn't happen that often, that you actually have the right number of top tricks. Usually you've got work to do. So we've got 9 top
Yeah.
tricks. Well, that's promising, isn't it? Because we're only in 3 no trumps. What about any extra tricks anywhere?
Clubs.
Yes.
Like length winner.
Yes, if clubs broke 2-2, we'd have 3 club length winners. Good.
We can't afford to try to establish clubs though because of the heart weakness.
Excellent, Tim. And he spotted the trap in this first hand. Obviously, I've put down 1 to 3 club winners. That is, I think the right word is red herring or chimera or something.
Mm.
We can't afford to, because the position in hearts is serious, isn't it? It's scary. And whenever you seem to have the right number of top tricks in no trumps, it's usually because of some danger. I mean, once you lose the ace of hearts, you're in real trouble. You could have an avalanche of hearts. I mean, there are 9 of them. You know, goodness knows how many would. Once that ace of heart goes, there's no way we can stop the heart flow. Sometimes we can hold up aces, but that won't do any good here unless there's some really freak distribution. So it's just a case, this hand, of cashing your top tricks. And in fact, we'll be ignoring clubs. Well done. We'll be ignoring clubs. There isn't anything else to it, really, apart from the fact, of course, that these arrows up here, by the way, if you've not come across these before, that means play 1 card or make 1 bid. That means play 2 cards or make 2 bids if you're running through this yourself, 3 cards or 3 bids, 4 cards or 4 bids. So let's see how the first trick pans out. We win with the ace of hearts. I don't think there's any point in holding up the ace here because we're just going to take the rest of our tricks. But what order do we take them in? That's the question. We're going to ignore clubs altogether. So the club tricks, extra tricks.
Spades and diamonds.
Queen of spades.
So what order do you cash the spades in?
Queen first.
Deuce of the
two
queen.
to-
Yeah, so I'm
Ace, king.
wondering if, so just
Yeah.
put the score up. We've won 1 trick. Yes, it's working on the spades first. Good. Short side first. We'll quickly work through this. Going to cash the rest of the spades. So we won the, it's just unblocking basically, isn't it?
Mm.
And Jack. Now that's the spades. How are we going to cash these diamonds now?
Ace, jack, king, queen.
Yeah.
Two. And that's all there is to that first one. So it's all about unblocking and not going for tricks which would be dangerous. Okay. And that's it. We concede the last few tricks. Good. Okay, let's have that was reasonably straightforward, I hope. It does show though that when you count extra tricks, sometimes it's illusory, as it was there, because there's a bigger danger in the other suit. Okay, next one. Let's do a bit of bidding first again.
Trump.
On no trump.
Yeah, textbook 1 no trump, isn't it?
Mhm.
And nothing from partner. So that's the
Ah.
That's the auction we see so often when the cards aren't shuffled properly, isn't it? And then somebody groans. There's always somebody who says, "Oh, I hate playing in no trumps." Well, after these declare a play lessons, perhaps you won't hate it anymore. So let's see what's led and then make a plan. 5 of hearts led.
Okay.
Thinking time.
Tricks 2, 4, 6,
1, 2,
6.
6.
City one short.
5, 6,
Mm.
6.
This is a hand when I had beginners, I used to teach this quite quickly, this hand.
Six, and we need to make another.
Well, lots of people are saying 6, and that's quite right, of course. The 3 pairs of ace kings,
And the 7 and the 10 of clubs.
8 of clubs has made all the difference, hasn't it?
Got a run of clubs. 8, 9, 10 jack.
Can we get anything from clubs?
The 10,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
good.
got
Well,
six.
it could be the 10 or the 9.
9, yeah.
Yes, that's the one and the longer it'll be. Because we've only got to drive out the ace, king and queen,
Mm.
and that's right. Now, there is a chance of a heart winner, by the way,
Yeah.
but
Length.
that would be,
Mm.
what's it called? Cream on the cake or whatever you call it.
Couldn't you let the
Right.
first heart go?
Cream on the pudding.
Declan?
Right.
Could, but I don't think that will be very good tactics in this hand. I think really this question is about the order you play it.
Mm.
Now, hearts aren't an emergency this time. We have got a double stop, the king and the queen. But there is, you will go down in this hand. This is about beginner's hand number 3 when I used to do it. And of course, they did go down usually because they didn't do something in the right order.
You got the 2 clubs.
Mm.
I think I can hear somebody like Sylvia saying, actually,
Yeah.
Play the
2
club.
and the ace.
Well, load.
or not
Play the
just somebody like Sylvia, it probably was.
It was. It was.
Sorry.
The short hand,
Yeah.
we need the short hand.
The important thing with this hand is to play the clubs first,
Yeah.
because you have got to lose the lead, 3 times, haven't you, to establish that. But you have got a guaranteed 7th trick. Now, of course, what people do in their first lesson or 2 of bridge, the immediate reaction is to cash their aces and kings
Mm.
and then hope for the best. Well, of course, by that time, all their queens and jacks are promoted in spades, hearts and diamonds, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mm.
If you actually think about it, and they'll just cash all of those before you can even do anything about the clubs. And ducking a heart trick, I think, could be a waste of time here. Your main priority is you force out first. And there it is. So let's just quickly play through that. So that will be the first trick. Just a little point there, technical point. I could have won with the king or the ace there of hearts.
Mm.
Why the ace? Why is it good practice?
The shortest hand.
Yes.
In the end, we want to be able to cash something like the 10 of clubs, yes?
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't matter here, but it's good practice to think that you will eventually, at the end, want to be in dummy. So just get into the habit of not winning cards which may be entries. So the king of hearts may turn out to be an entry to clubs. So on principle, almost, I'm winning the ace first. Okay.
Yeah.
And the next trick, now we start straight away. And I've started on the short suit first. So we keep count. Good. The queen's gone. 2 more to force out. There's the score. Next. Bound to come back with hearts once they've started them. And look, both our heart stoppers have gone. But we persevere with clubs. There's the score. Persevere with clubs. And of course, they will win now with the king, which is the only card to worry about left in clubs then.
Yeah. The ace.
It's the ace, isn't it? And I dare say they may play another heart. I can't remember offhand. No, perhaps he's run out of hearts actually. So he's led a spade, but we can win that. And now
Play
we can
in.
play our 8,
Mhm.
drive out the ace, and there's the 10 looking rather regal on its own in dummy. And we've got our stop. So we needed a lot of our high cards, didn't we?
Yep.
Stop there. What was it? Hearts and spades. And that's the reason why we now can sort of almost table our hand, because we can now triumphantly. We really worked hard for that 10 of clubs, didn't we?
Yep.
But it was the right tactics. Okay. And must be a claim soon, I think. Just, Cash probably could claim already, actually. And there we are. Sorry, a bit of a blip on the scoring there. We can claim all the rest of the tricks. Sorry, I went one too far on the arrows, mistake in the program. In fact, it was 7 tricks, not 14 minus 1. I don't know what's gone wrong there. So the moral there was we worked on forcing out first before crushing our top winners, and it happens so often, that kind of thing. Hurriedly on.
Not easy.
And the bidding, please.
It's 14, it's 14.
8, 11, 9, 14. 14. One diamond. One diamond.
Not your suit. We don't prefer a major to a minor if the minor's longer, of course. One diamond.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
A
happening?
club.
Things are going haywire, aren't they? That should say a
It's
diamond.
east
Sorry.
bidding.
For club, read diamond, please.
Oh, that's east.
That is east.
Oh,
That's
oh,
east.
oh. So yes, it's east to open the bidding. I've forgotten that. I should have put that in my notes. East has just opened 1 club.
Right.
That's what happens if you don't rehearse for Zoom and eat haggis instead. Yeah, 1 club, nothing from south.
Yes, 25.
Yeah.
One
So our
diamond.
bid is now, sorry, going the wrong way around. East
One
was
diamond.
One diamond, yes. Some people think you should bid 2 diamonds for some reason there, but there is absolutely no reason to do that, because a change of suit shows 6 points or more. Okay,
And the
so you show your strength on the second round, and 1 spade now
We don't like that.
from east. Now that suggests that east has at least 5 clubs and at least 4 spades.
Yeah.
But all we know is he's got 12 points plus to go 2 spades, which shows something like 18 or 19. But even so, we can now bid.
2 hearts.
Nope, that would be 4th suit forcing. We don't need to do that here.
No trumps.
No trumps, but what level?
1.
3.
We know that East has got 12 points.
We got
East,
14.
which I didn't notice first of all, and open the bidding, we've got
14.
14.
So really, you show your strength on the second round, and you must now go to 1 no trump would be sort of about 6 to 9 points here. So we can go straight there.
3 trumps. 3 no trumps.
Happy with the bidding.
Okay, right, okay.
I wonder how many other people didn't notice that it was East there to deal, which threw us. But the declare isn't always the dealer, is it? And the declare isn't, and it wasn't here. Okay, so lead and tactics, please.
Okay, so they're all right. They're all right.
6, 7,
And is to try.
7 top tricks.
7, 8.
And then you want to get those.
9.
Which ones? Force out the spades.
Yeah.
But the first question is top tricks, isn't it?
Yeah. 7.
Some work to do. Where?
Spades.
Spades.
Well, we need 2 extra. Now, on a lucky day, that could come from clubs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would need a 3-3 split,
Mm.
which is about a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah.
Is there another source of extra tricks?
Spades.
Spades,
Indeed. And there's 2 tricks there, 100%.
Queen and Jack.
Now, we probably won't have time to actually cash all those extra club winners, but 7, 2 in spades. I've got a prompt over the bottom of my screen. I'm hoping it says in clubs 0 to 2, does it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be lucky. So as you actually need 9 tricks, you're going to work on the spades.
Mm.
So we've got the hearts nicely stopped, no problem there. So we're going to win the first trick. And we work on the spades again straight away,
Yeah.
while we've still got those stops to stop them getting into hearts or whatever.
Mm.
So we'll now play the 10 of spades, I think. Yeah. Notice shorthand first.
Yeah.
Even though it's not top tricks. And that gets rid of the ace. I wonder if they're going to continue with hearts. There's the score.
Yeah.
Yes, we win the king. I think we can afford to do that straight away, or can we?
Yeah.
Right. And another spade.
Yeah.
We've still got 1 more to drive out, haven't we?
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The king.
3. There it goes. Job done.
Mm.
No, 2 minutes. So we can get in.
Mm.
And another heart.
Mhm.
Can anybody remember the opening lead?
6 of hearts, wasn't it?
There's a heart. Yeah.
6 of hearts.
I'm going to just very quickly go back.
Mm.
Now, how many of you lead fourth highest of your longest suit?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yes, I do.
Do you know why I don't?
No.
Because it can give away how many cards you've got in your suit. How many hearts has North got?
4.
Oh, 4 on that basis. Yeah. 4.
I know fourth highest can help partner, but I wonder how many of you actually ever use the rule of 11 or whatever it's called. Now, how do I know it's 4? Because I can see the 5, 3, 4, and 2. So the 6 must have been the lowest card. So I worked out from the opening lead that North's got 4 hearts and South's got 3. And the reason I mentioned that is I think there's going to be a bit of ducking coming up. Don't forget, you can always play these things at your
Can't.
leisure on the website. Right. There goes the ace. We've done that, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's the king.
Yeah.
There's the king going, now play it slowly. There's the score. Jack.
Mm.
So we actually knew we didn't have to worry about the heart situation. Now, why am I saying that? Is because we might have had to actually duck a heart,
Mm.
but that's ahead of in terms of advancement, if you call it. So we didn't. Okay.
Mm.
It's an interesting point that, though. Does fourth highest help declare as much as
Mm.
it does partner? I wonder.
Still do it.
Taking another heart,
Mm.
but I think we're okay now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because we can win any return.
Mm.
And there we are,
Mm.
7 tricks.
Mm.
Okay. So I'm going through these a little bit quickly because we're running out of time, but obviously you can either play these on the website because it's now on, or if you want to watch this Zoom thing again as well. So we're fairly quick with the last 3, I think, because I know some of you it's getting near to Horlicks time, as it were. How's the bidding?
12.
12.
So 1 and 12.
Yeah.
Partner, we are dealer this time. I wasn't caught out this time. 2 no trumps.
Mm.
Now, how many points has East got?
Good question.
11, 12.
11, 12, spot on. So what do we bid?
Well, we've got 12.
Yeah, we definitely minimum, aren't we?
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So we've been invited to game, but sorry, no.
Because we've got the lowest number.
Yes, we've got the lowest number we can. If we got 14, we'd have gone to 3 no trumps, but we haven't. So there we are. Okay. Lead. And the usual story, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And the
6
queen.
again, isn't it?
Yeah. So 2 shorts.
You got 2 in the hearts.
Hearts, I think.
Exactly. We're getting, it's automatic now, isn't it, to look for these false winners.
Mm.
Possible club winner there, but that would be lucky. So that's fine. And we won't go through the whole hand here because it's rather similar. What would you do here then? What would be your plan?
Go to the hearts.
Win
Yeah.
the diamond, lose the hearts, and so on.
Yeah. I mean, the club is an outside chance. We need to work on those hearts straight away before
Yeah.
we lose our stoppers in spades or particularly in this one, diamonds.
Mm.
Now, I think we won't have to duck. There's some horribly complicated formula you can work out with ducking. Let me see. We've got to remove 2 stoppers in hearts, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we have got 2 stoppers in diamonds, and we have got 6 cards. I I gave you a lesson on this, and it lost some of you. I don't think we need to duck. We'll go into ducking at some point. Noticing we're winning in the shorter holding of the heart suit, okay, and basically we'll just play those off until we remove both. There's the plan. Won't play through it all. Can you see that's really quite similar to the other hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very similar, really. So let's move straight on to the next one, and we are going to open.
15.
15 points.
1 heart.
1 heart.
Yeah, it's good. It's just a point too strong, isn't it, for 1 no trump? And then Easter, 2 clubs. Now, this is showing 10 points or something a bit less for the rule of 14. So we will now bid.
No trump.
No trumps.
Well, you got enough
Yes.
on there.
2 no trump.
Yeah, we know we've got 25. Now, yeah, I mean, I think there we could have actually gone straight to 3, really, because the only point of this bid is if gives East a chance to mention he's got 3 hearts, and that's no good anyway. So although I put the bidding like that, I think we could have bid 3 no trumps straight away. So, and down comes the opening lead and dummy.
Right.
So we've got
Now this is an interesting one.
Ace, king, queen.
7. 7.
3, 4, 5.
We've got to be careful in
7.
spades, by the way, haven't we? Have we got 4 winners in spades? We've got the ace, king, queen, jack.
No.
No, 2.
Yeah. Duplication again.
3.
3, 2, and 2.
Sounds though nobody was fooled by that, because I heard several of you say 7,
Yeah.
which is quite right. It is 7.
4,
Goodness
5,
me, that looks to be
7.
about it, unless we're very lucky in diamonds, doesn't it? Not good news, is it? Or is it?
No.
7.
You got one.
How on earth are we going to make 2 extra tricks here unless we're very lucky in diamonds?
Can't in clubs.
This is the most interesting hand so far.
You've got to hold the spades back, haven't you? You can't waste them at the start.
There's no holding back because, Fraser, we haven't got any low cards to hold back, unfortunately.
It's not. No, I suppose not.
In fact,
Oh, you can get 1 in hands.
there isn't really a danger suit, actually. I mean, the nearest to a danger suit is hearts, really. It seems hopeless, doesn't it?
Anymore. Yeah.
So shall we just concede 6 tricks straight away, or what?
If you played your clubs out, you'd get an extra club trick, wouldn't you? If it's split.
Is that Pat or Caroline? I'm not sure. Pat, was it?
Yeah,
Seven.
Yeah. I mean, look at this horrible club suit, or is it horrible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, because there's only 5 clubs left. So
Exactly.
if they split
Exactly.
3-2, or you make 2 tricks.
Done. Top answer.
Mm.
And in fact, that's the most likely split, isn't it? 3-2.
Two in the opposition. They can't-
So we don't give up because we've got no high cards. That club suit is wonderful.
You've got two.
Well,
two winners.
it is wonderful as long as we can afford to lose 2 or 3 tricks first of all.
Yeah.
Do you play it?
So we'll play that through.
Yeah.
We're going to win with the ace, I think, shorter holding first. Yeah.
Mhm.
And straight away on the clubs. Now, you do need to keep count here, really. Some of you in group 2 are probably automatically do this, but let's play the first trick off. There's the score.
Mhm.
First trick off, a club. Now, you think, how many clubs are there left now?
3.
Three.
Excellent. 3. Now, of course, they've won the trick and they'll probably return whatever it was they back to a spade again.
Mhm.
Our spade holdings looking a bit reduced, isn't it now? But there's nothing we could do about it. And we're going to play another club, a second round of clubs. There's the score, second round of clubs. How many clubs are left now?
One.
One.
Right.
Yeah.
On,
Mm.
is anybody clever enough to remember which one it was? Not that it matters.
10.
The 10.
10.
Very impressive. I'm sure some of you have got better card memories than I have. I couldn't actually remember that. But I do know there is one out that's still higher. Are we going to get another spade? Probably. Right. Well, we we're just able to stop that, weren't we, with our final spade stopper. And now we can play one more club to drive out that. What patience this requires.
10.
Mm.
And that's got rid of all their clubs. I hope you agree.
It wasn't a 10.
Now, I think we're in a position where South fortunately can't lead any more spades. I suspect, I hope so. And it is indeed the case if we've been counting it. And we can claim because the clubs are good. Do you agree? After all our hard work,
Yes.
Yeah.
and we've got
5,
4 more
6.
top tricks there. So we claimed 6 tricks.
Mm.
Now, I know Keith likes you to play at a reasonable speed, and even in group 1, I do like a certain amount. You know, we don't want to hold up people in sit-out tables, all that sort of thing. And look how you can save time sometimes by just putting those 7 cards down, okay?
Mm.
Mind you, you can't just do that and hope to get away with it. You have actually got to explain how you're going to do it if they challenge. But I'd like to see a few more hands put down like this one, where you don't need to play the last 7 tricks at all.
Don't you think we were a bit lucky there, Chris? Because they attacked our spade suit where we happened to have 3 top tricks. Had they tackled diamonds or even hearts, we only had 2.
But they're more likely to tackle spades, Martin, for the reason that if we can, I think we can just start this hand again and have a look.
I know what you're going to say because they got more spades.
I am going to say that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, although it seemed a bit lucky, they're more likely to attack spades than hearts slightly. But I agree with you. Yes, it wouldn't have been quite so good in hearts, would it?
No, we'd have struggled a bit more.
I don't think we were lucky in the club break, though, were we?
No, that was fine.
In fact, we have there only got 24 points.
Mm.
And that's right, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. That's right.
And
24, yeah. 24.
Mm.
the reason we've got into that is East was using the rule of 14.
Mm.
Can you see that?
Right.
And it's worked, hasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you don't,
Yeah.
you know, if you've got a long suit, you know, even in no trumps, you don't necessarily quite. It was a tight thing, though. It's very, very close, as we'd expect with 24 points. But the length in clubs eventually did it with reasonable luck, I would say. Okay. You could argue, by the way, we're a little bit unlucky because our spade values were duplicated.
Right, I've got to go, I think.
Spade is worth nothing. Final hand.
The only thing I was going to say, Chris, while I don't give up entirely this argument, the opponents could see dummy.
No, when they make their opening lead, they can't see dummy.
No, but they could.
Oh, you
after
mean they
that.
might switch to a heart?
Well, they could see there was 3 good spades sitting there.
But by the time they've done one trick, I think it then becomes too late, doesn't it, in hearts?
If you say so, Chris.
Do you know, when I watch these, I was watching myself, Martin, on Zoom, and I thought, doesn't he sound confident? Not to say arrogant. I sound confident, but I probably would have to actually look at it a bit more carefully. I think it's the case that in bridge terms, it's called losing a tempo. And because you're one trick behind, I think the hearts turn out not to be a danger. Gosh, we got some good late questions tonight. Last hand, I promise. Okay. What would be quite interesting one day is ask one of you to host a Zoom session. I'll do the presentational material for you. I'll do the websitey bit because my wife thinks I just do this to show off, you know.
No, we don't agree.
No.
That's not very convincing.
14.
But it'd be quite. I wonder if there's anybody who's a budding star Zoom broadcaster. I promise you, I'd do all the presentation stuff, and then when it comes to 7:30, you then take over the proceedings. Let me know if you want to be the next Zoom star with viewers in excess of 40. What's the bidding, please?
No trump.
No trump.
You?
I said 1 heart.
Yeah, it's 14, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, yeah, some teachers a bit older than even me would open 1 heart on this hand.
Thank you, Chris.
Uh,
You haven't got a second suit.
Well, I can tell you my age is the same as my last bridge score. There we are. That'll give it away. So, but it is better. It's generally recognised we open 1 no trump even with a 5-card major, and it's not because it's better the first time. It's because it's better next time. Because when you open 1 heart, so often you end up repeating a 5-card suit. You've got nothing else to say. Now, some bridge teachers disagree with this, so that's just my point of view, but it is also Andrew Robson's, and he's a good bloke to have on your side, I must say. So I'm going to open 1 no trump. Best player in England, by the way. Oh, that's easy bidding, isn't it? No problem. So we've got 13 points or more opposite. What East hasn't got, presumably, is a 4-card major or a 5-card major. Because we are playing statement and transfer. So let's see. So we're expecting here, what, 13 or more points? No 4 or 5-card major. Let's see.
Yeah.
Thank you, partner. Impeccable bidding.
14. Yeah.
14.
So we got 28, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, those aces and kings look good at first, don't they? But it only adds up to how many top tricks?
5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a solution is at hand,
Hearts.
requiring only average luck.
So you play the hearts, will you?
Exactly. I hear a heart mentioned. Anybody who had a heart. Now, why the hearts rather than the diamonds or clubs? Well, simply because 1's got a 5-card suit.
Yeah.
And you're more likely, even though there's 7 cards in each suit, do you agree? You're more likely to get, once you see a 5-card suit, you think that's the one I need to work on.
Okay.
Now, of course, you're not going to win every trick in hearts because your best possible split is 3-3. So we have to accept that. On a lucky day, we could win 2 extra hearts, On a normal day, and of course 4-2 splits
One.
are more likely, certainly, than 3-3 splits in diamonds or clubs. So hearts it is. That's our suit of choice. And here's the first trick, which we're going to win over there. And now hearts we're going to work on. Which heart do you think we're going to win first?
King.
Yeah, short suit first. I don't think there's going to be fancy ducking. I hope. King first. And then, that's the score now. And then another heart. Now, can you see what we've done there?
You ducked.
We've ducked.
Yes.
Now, here's a good rule for you. If you know, as we did in this suit, we did have to lose one heart. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And lose it now while you've still got those nice high cards in other suits. If you're going to duck,
Can't do that.
duck early. We couldn't win all the hearts, even on the most lucky day in the world. So let's do it now while we've still got stoppers in other suits. So there's the score and the next lead, and there's the next trick. Now we've ducked that one as well, and I'd have to study the hand again to tell you why, and we're running out of time. There's probably a good reason for that. I'll move on because my brain's not quite functioning properly. Next trick. Now we win it,
Right.
Yeah.
and we can now go over to our hand, and King of Diamonds would be a good one. And we're going to play another heart now. How many hearts are left?
2. 4 was 8.
Let me see. There were 6 originally.
Two. Yeah, two.
Two
And
left.
it's 2. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Depends on the split.
There's one.
There's one left.
Split, then,
One left in south.
no, it's not. I was talking about counting earlier. We lead another heart, which we know we've got to lose because we didn't have great luck 3-3. I think we've. Oh, that's why we ducked the spade, because of this situation. Right, good. So, and now we ducked a spade. Sorry, I'm not going to go over the whole hand and why. The reason we ducked a spade is to try to run south out of spades. This is getting a little bit more advanced now, and there's the score. And he can't lead one back. Okay, so if in doubt, duck is the moral for that. So he does indeed lead a diamond back. No more spades to lead back, and we can now, I think, claim, can't we?
It's king and 7.
Same, and of course we worked hard again. But can you see where the third trick is?
Yeah.
The 7 of hearts.
Yeah.
7 of hearts.
The main thing about that hand was working on the suit that needed work while we still got control of the hand. And that's it from me.
Very good.
Thank
Right.
you, Chris.
Thank you.
Hey, just a moment. Did I press record?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's recording, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked.
You said you did.
There's an American lady's voice comes through, did it?
Yeah, she did.
I'll soon find out. Okay.
Yes,
So,
it did. Yes.
You're still recording.
I know. So I need to stop recording in a minute. You can tell I'm not used to all this, can't you? So I'll say good. Now, where do I stop recording? Stop recording. There it is.
On the red
Told you I
button.
had too much haggis before this. Are you sure you want to stop recording the cloud? Yes.